Okay, and we're live. So let's start with intentions and agenda topics and any distractions if you have any. I don't have any distractions other than this YouTube video is about to say my voice. Okay. And then I am excited to talk about the project management outline, move, and the narrative, and all of the magical things that Ravi has been bringing to the table lately. It's nice to get some new energy coming in. I feel like we almost have a full dev team, you know, like project manager, product owner, clear roles. It's kind of fun. And then, I think we'll just try to, kick through cadCAD first and then go straight into narrative, it looks like. And I'll pass it to Andrew.
Great.
Hi, folks. My intention today is to make more clear what the next steps for the code are by uploading the stuff onto the big rewrite branch. Hopefully, it's kind of clear that the formulas there, I don't know them so well, I don't trust them so well, and I think they should all be like moved into a different package so that they can be, so that one does not have to extract the formula from the code around it. And then one can just change the formula easily and see and look at all the other formulas so that you know that, okay, if you change this formula, then you might have to change the other formula too. Yeah, so basically it's where it is, but I don't understand the formulas yet. So Ravi, I will need Ravi's help to set up a call with one of these cadCAD guys. And yeah, that's kind of like what I want to iron out with the call with Jeff actually, but I didn't have this as conscious in my mind back then. So yeah.
Okay, very nice. We can talk about that. And then Danny?
Yeah, my intentions for the call are just to find out if there's anything outstanding on the written narrative that needs any further work, and then also to go through with Ravi the new illustration outline, identify what needs to happen with that in the next week, and get some clearer information into it for CAD to keep working on it. My distractions are just that I'm about to have a bunch of people show up here at my house for the next meeting that I have.
Ooh, fun. Okay, so Andrew needs to run out first. So let's talk cadCAD and formulas. Let me just say, Andrew, I think I know the formulas probably better than Jeff does, and I could definitely help you with that.
Okay, so basically, we should have a call about these equations and stuff, right?
Yeah. Do you want to just schedule this with me right now?
Yes, let's do that sometime this week. Let's say Thursday or Friday or.
Yeah, I like Thursday.
Actually, yeah.
Sorry, what?
No, go on.
I like Thursday. Thursday, anytime before 3 and afternoon. Noon to 3 would be my like favorite spot.
All right, so yeah, noon to 3 then.
Oh wow, 3 hours? You want to book the whole thing? I mean, I'd be down.
Okay, no, let's do 1 hour from 1 p.m.
1 p.m. Okay, I'll make a little invite. Well, okay, cool. Anything else on cadCAD?
Well, other than that, it's basically making sure that the equations are what we wanted for the simulation, and whether we might think of better, simpler, or more complex equations, and if so, how does putting them into the code work? Will it be easy to swap them in and change them out? How will this work with the other code? So this is the other stuff I have to figure out.
That would be so cool, though. That would be so cool. To be able to
Cool.
just like, oh, here's the bonding curve equation. You know what? Let's just tweak that. And then it just ripples through the entire code. And you just have the equations in a doc where the people can go on and tweak them. That sounds like an amazing
Yeah,
thing.
after all, we have to experiment with this model, right? And it's not, we can't do that if it's not easy to play with.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. And then where are you at on like actually produce, you have the price graphs and the funding pool graphs being kicked out at this point?
Yes, but the shape changed a bit, and I don't know why. And hopefully with this thing, I can kind of see. Yeah, I don't know.
You're breaking up a little bit, but cool. I think we'll review it. Let's make can we make it a 90-minute call on
Sure.
Thursday? Because we could probably review a lot of this stuff, and I want to save our like block science like grab just for like maybe at least until after this call, so that we can be sure that I think we get one crack at block science to review this code. So we should probably like really make sure that we're ready for that engagement.
All right. What is block science's relation to us, basically?
Well, Zargam is part of the Common Stack, and he leads block science. But block science is they are a simulation like house, and they just don't have that many resources to lend out for free, or even for low pay. Even though they are fans of the project, they've been giving most of their charity to grassroots economics lately, which is great, of course, you know. But they're just really busy, and people pay for their time a lot of money, and so we can't. Well, we can ask for a favor, but we probably only get like one. Is how I feel, you know.
Got it.
So I want to cash that in, and then after that, we might, if we really need them, we would just have to like kind of make a specific like buy, right? Send money to them, and I don't know. I'm worried about the funding. Okay. Anything else on cadCAD, or shall we let you run away?
Oh, that's about it. That's all I have to say, though.
Okay, well, I'm sort of sad that no one else joined from the token engineering group, because I was really pimping out your work to the crew last night. I think it was last night. We had like a token engineering meetup, and seriously, Andrew, your work has made this common simulator feel like it's been worth it, you know, because when I go and I show, like when I look at the code that you've been writing, it's so clean. It looks really nice. Like I feel like it's a great base for us to show people what we're doing with the Common Stack and what our end goal is with this product. So, you know, thank you so much, man. And anything we can do to help push you forward, and you know, please
Thank you
ask.
so much.
I'll try to be more responsive too.
Oh, thank you very much, Griff. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at pimping myself, so yeah.
Wow, let me be your pimp.
Okay, yeah.
I'll try to be a good one, I swear. Okay, well then let's move on to narrative. And Andrew, if you gotta go, you know.
All right, have fun, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so we don't have a Ravi.
Nope.
Well, he sent, let's see, I chatted with him last night and said I'd try to get some time in on that doc, which basically meant I read it.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's just a copy paste from the other doc, and
right. So, I mean, So I've read through, I looked at it, I can add like more detail. I guess the challenge I have is that I have to just clear some space and be in that creative place to figure out, okay, how can we draw this? I feel a bit out of my element on it. I have to admit that this is like it's a big stretch for me to move into the space of, I don't know, like, I don't, it just feels like probably not my usual thing. So I feel like I'm really pushing my edges here to get this done.
Ooh, that's fun. Well, then I'm down to support. Let's see. Let's just look at where we're at on the outline, and maybe I'll share screen so that we can like cruise it together. So, well, actually, yeah, no, let's share screen.
I have you on my phone, so I'm in the doc too.
Okay. Well, for that one random person who one day watches this for some crazy reason.
Yeah. Oh, right.
I'll pretend like someone's gonna care. I really doubt it. You know, it's just like give it. It's like this. It's almost like a show. You know, it's like, oh yeah, people are watching. Sure. Yeah, they're gonna watch all your steaming meetings. No. Okay, so I think I think that you can go back. Okay, well let's look at that one. Okay, so starting at the top, dystopian future. Did you think like my addition here of this illustration at the beginning?
The illustration 2 for cadCAD, or the fact that we need a dystopian future picture? Yeah, I definitely agree we need that, because we're talking about the future and then we're jumping back into the present. So that flow of like, it needs to look awful, like this is what could happen, and then we back it up, and that's why the feedback on some of the other ones she did is that they need to be more normal, because we're showing what it is right now. So like when she's in the alley, that needs to be more present day. It's not that polluted future feel.
Yeah.
So we need to show the polluted future feel right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. And
then illustration 2, this is something that you put in and I kind of filled out, just like I was trying to double down on this cadCAD like time machine idea. Do you want to separate those?
It surprised me as the approach being the future picture of cadCAD. Like, I was looking more for something that tells what cadCAD is. Like, we're introducing cadCAD in the future. So what is it? Is that all it is? It's saying it connects to something. What did I see there? It connects to the time travel machine that stays in the future. So yeah, the time travel is like a side effect, right? Like it allows you, but the fact that it does the prediction is more what I was trying to figure out how to convey.
Yeah, so what I was thinking about cadCAD is it's like MATLAB. Have you ever heard of MATLAB?
No.
Or any kind of like complicated cadCAD like thing, a simulation thing, like or AutoCAD. You know?
Okay, like AutoCAD, yeah.
You know, like what AutoCAD is not that interesting. Like, don't get me wrong, it's cool, it's a cool application, but like I don't think we need to describe what cadCAD is. I think if we glorify it and say, so what cadCAD does is it's predictive modeling, right? And so right. I kind of see it as like, I feel like there's this really awesome analogy that we can make of like cadCAD as a time travel machine.
Okay.
Because what you do with cadCAD is you can, once you have your models, you can use cadCAD to actually first off, take the past and put it into cadCAD to, you know, optimize it and like get it to back test the past data to train it, you know, train your models. And then you can use it to see the future, right? And so in some ways, we use cadCAD like a time travel device. You know, it's like when you run a Monte Carlo simulation and you have 10 million simulations all going at once, it's like these are the 10 million different universes that could be, you know, that could come out of running this scenario. And it's like this, yeah, and I feel like if we actually try to explain what cadCAD is, like, first off, we'll do a bad job, and second, it will be boring. Whereas, sorry.
Yeah, no, I follow what you're saying. Like as you're describing that, what I was actually seeing is something that shows more of like a holistic vision of you enter inputs here, and then it projects all of those, and then highlights one that is the best possible outcomes, possibly. I don't know.
I mean, and this is the other thing with how we're using cadCAD, we're totally butchering it. We're doing really shitty job at using cadCAD in this game. In fact, it's kind of almost a joke how we use cadCAD. Because what we do in the cadCAD model is we take away the randomness, which would for sure be there. And we also only do one simulation. And so they put in the inputs, and then we do one simulation, and it's the same simulation every time, and it's going to give really crappy results, but it'll work better for the game. And so, and what the dream is that at the end, people will start like using other people's scores and optimizing a little bit, and probably some people will just go find the cadCAD models, write a small little script to basically goal seek what the right solutions are, right? And try to get.
And in some way, we want to encourage that.
In a way, we want to allow people to do it so they can be like, oh wow, you know, like, holy shit, like, because you can use cadCAD to optimize in a way better way than what we're doing in this game. It can be like an aha moment. When we say, oh, guess what? Someone just like did this and now they have the high score. Like, you know, it's like, that's actually the point, you know?
Hey, I see Ravi just made an edit on that document. Should we see if he's around?
Sure.
Let me hop over to.
But yeah, so I was thinking we kind of, I don't know, and so my thought on the cadCAD thing is like cadCAD, actually what you do when you put the inputs in is effectively you're saying what will this future look like, you know, between what does the new future look like, right? Like now that we have this cadCAD inputs, and it's like, oh, the new future is this. You know, and then you get the results. This is what happened with the commons, as you know, because it's a time travel device and it can tell you.
Right. So regarding illustration 2, I kind of want to jump back into the narrative and see, because I almost feel like this would be a better place to show like maybe the engineers or something watching Quantum Leap.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
Holding up their little finger to change it, you know, at the TV.
Yeah. Okay, so then, well, okay, so you want to go into the narrative? I'm
in it right now, just scrolling down to what it says, what the words are that go with that. It's a little difficult.
These visionary geeks turned their remote control into cadCAD, a computational prediction tool and time travel machine that I clearly I changed this already. A time travel machine that can be used to prevent catastrophic outcomes of those disastrous financial decisions made in the 21st century. With cadCAD in hand, new incentivized economic systems can be created that appropriate value the precious resources of our planet. So yeah, I mean, I was basically saying, oh, let's take this opportunity to kind of just like use the picture to describe cadCAD as a time machine, and then not have to narrative for it.
Right. That's cool. So illustration 2.5, what's plugged in right there? What is the best thing that we could, should this be where maybe we plug in something about Ostrom's principles of the commons?
Well, this is what I'm wondering is like, is this the best place to describe the commons? Because it feels
Well,
out of place in the narrative. Like, I don't know if there's another place that we can move it to.
I think it's because I responded to some of Chris's feedback and moved something else later, and now it's kind of dangling there.
Yeah, it feels like it just feels like it could maybe come like maybe just before
So like
illustration 6, you know?
Okay. So illustration 3 is time traveling, and this is where we introduce Ostrom's work governing the commons.
Well,
so
we might be able to move that too then. Like we could start taking all the common stuff out and just focus on time travel.
but isn't that, I mean, I guess that's what I thought was important here, is that we're going to be talking about creating a commons. That's kind of like the point of the simulation, right? Is to create a commons. So
Yeah.
we need to explain early on what is a commons and why are we creating one?
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. So it's like we need
like
to,
we're introducing a concept and we're
Yeah.
going to be using the word commons. So we kind of need to say what it is and give people context for that, since that's what the game is to create a successful commons.
yeah, I was thinking that it could be moved later, but I think is your point that the idea is that the idea of commons should be coming from the future as well?
No, it's not that it's coming. I guess what I was doing is setting the stage for the fact that radical exchange, when Nick arrives and goes in there, that's where commons is being discussed. So maybe that's where explaining the commons fits, is at the event.
Yeah. In fact, I was looking through this a little bit this week, and I was just thinking, like, you know how we have her going into the bathroom with and looking up cadCAD? Maybe.
Yeah, at the very end.
I was thinking maybe we could move. I mean, I'm not very attached. I'm not nearly as attached to this as I am the cadCAD time machine analogy.
Okay.
Like, you know, I'm thinking about like maybe when I read this line, you were briefed on the quadratic funding and Harburger tax research of this fledgling organization before you left. And I was thinking, what if like she doesn't really know where she's going until she gets there, and you know, she has to go hide to like do some quick research and maybe even use cadCAD to do the research, kind of like Ziggy.
Oh shit, that's a good idea.
And then she just like, she goes and hides in the bathroom, and then we can introduce this fact that there's a hologram cadCAD, and she's using it to like research who the fuck is radical exchange, and oh yeah, Eleanor Ostrom's in the commons. I'm totally into that. Like I know all about that. This is what everyone's in the future knows is what we need to do, but we just can't put it together.
Okay, that's good, because it's what we want to tell them, so we have her learn it herself.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
and that picture is perfect. It's like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. Geez, that was a long time. Like half an hour. Yeah, just wouldn't come out, you know. Um, so yeah.
All right, so she finds out who she is. She looks at her phone. She's like, oh my God, radical exchange. What is this? And then ducks into, I don't really want to show her in a bathroom.
Yeah, no, we just use the same picture that they have there. Like,
Oh, right on.
you don't even have to say
Oh, yes.
we just
Yeah,
kind of take that picture in there.
right.
And then we can go deep into Eleanor Ostrom and all the stuff that she's finding out in her cadCAD device.
Right. So that sets the stage for the commons, and then she goes into, then we go into illustration 6. So that would be like an illustration 5.
Yeah. So should I just move that up?
Yeah.
And what else do we need to add there? Common, Eleanor Ostrom. And what is she looking at? Oh, and like this, the fact that she's like secret cadCAD.
Right. All right, I'm seeing your comment right there. It was just a small meetup with nothing special coming out of it before, and that's what needs to be changed.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, if we could go back in time.
All right. Yeah. Oh man.
Okay.
You're selling all my crypto right there. Because crypto went up, Ether went up like to 280 and then crashed, and I just ate it. Anyway, let's see. Okay, so I'll play with that, and then so then we kind of have all these. I mean, we're gonna talk to Naya and Kat about changing the colors, right?
Yeah. I'll explain to her that this is not. It was confusing the way we wrote it, because we said it starts out dark and dreary and then gets bright, but then the way it's written, we're going back in time to before it got dark and dreary.
Yeah. Well, and Sem really wanted to have it be extremely green the whole time. That's why, like, have this like green solar punk hue. And then, but then it just kind of looks weird. I don't think it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So yeah. I think we can just like try not to be too serious about the pictures, colors, and just make them look normal.
Yeah.
Oh, and change her glows, right?
I would really like to. I'm like, really? That's what we're gonna go with? Is this tracksuit?
I mean, I think this is just what Nick was wearing when she took pictures of herself, you know. So
right.
So we can, and Nick kind of does dress like this or whatever, but we can make her.
We're gonna style her up a little.
Yeah, exactly. let's get Nicolene looking like, you know, yeah, her best self.
Yep.
Okay, so we Oh, okay. One thing I wanted to talk about was the Hatcher selection tool.
Yep, I was just scrolling down there too.
So we actually had, maybe can I just take this one on instead? Because Sem, Nyan, and I had had already discussed a plan for this.
Okay.
And it's basically like a picture of you, Glenn, and Vitalik, kind of as the first picture, and then layers of people.
Okay.
Just
Yeah. I mean, I put a background on it and put those pictures onto a laptop is what I did.
I mean, I think that it's a really good idea for making it easy, right? To make it more or less people.
Yeah.
And but Nyan Cat and Sim and I brainstormed this like, I don't know, 3 months ago or something.
Perfect.
So I'll try to take that one on. Okay. Oh, the next one was really good. Actually, thinking about it, you basically convinced me in my mind. At first I had sort of like I still really don't like the price graph, but I think I'm down with something there of some way for the next one.
Yeah. So, and what I kind of saw was that, so there's the two pots and there's the chapter initiatives, the proposals. And what I kind of thought was that actual proposal picture, the chapter initiatives that's on there would become the next shot. So, because that's where we go to next is the proposals. So we're showing how the size of the proposal funding pool impacts the proposals getting delivered upon in this one. And then in the next one, we're talking about how many proposals we can actually have to start. So kind of felt like we could reuse some of that work, like reuse whatever's created on that chapter initiatives. And then in the next one, that gets expanded a little bit.
Should we, if we do that, maybe, I mean, it's kind of like a little bit of extra work, but if we want to do that, I feel like we should probably have the proposals be introduced first. It's like the question for number of proposals first.
So flip, oh, okay. So we show that and then it goes down and then the proposal. Okay, I understand that.
Just yeah, I mean, it feels like simple to and then building on top, versus oh, here's this, and then we take a small piece out.
Sure. And does it matter that order? So how many proposals?
I don't think it matters so much. I guess for the proposals, I didn't think we needed. Well, I think that you made a good point in one of our previous talks about making it like an opportunity to explain what kind of proposals this meetup group would like actually be doing, because it's kind of hard to think of like so, because when I originally imagined this proposal selection tool, I thought just stacks of paper, who knows what they are, and the stack gets bigger or smaller. But I think
right.
a really good point of like, well, this is an opportunity to actually explain what the hell radical exchange this commons is for.
Yeah, and part of what I'm thinking is like, that's why I was focusing on the chapters themselves, like having names of them around the world, because the point is we need to proliferate this model, right? So if we don't have a big enough funding pool and we don't have enough proposals, we're not going to affect the world. But if we actually get it right, we get to fund 20 chapters instead of 3 chapters.
Yeah, well, and it's and the proposal selection tool is proposals that are there to start. So there will be more proposals, of course, but it's about like, do you start with 300 proposals or do you start with 3, and and then it grows to 5 million either way, or maybe it doesn't because your commons doesn't succeed at gaining traction, but that's for the simulation guys.
Right.
And so, but I really, yeah, I definitely like the chapter initiatives, you know, and then like if there's more, if you grow the proposals or something, then there's more chapters, conference budget, like the conference gets bigger or something, you know, like,
Right. Like in my mind, I was like, well, if we don't have enough in the funding pool, we can't have our conference. Like that would just
Yeah.
not happen. Right.
yeah, exactly. And
That's why I was like in my mind seeing it like if you do it too small, then it'll cross the conference off. If you do it too big, then the token value goes down. I don't know.
and so the token value wouldn't go down. That's the thing. So, but what it does do is it makes it the token price more reactive and volatile to inputs and outputs, and it basically makes the economy weaker.
Oh, that's right. That was what you were saying. You wanted to shift that to
Yeah.
strong, weak, strong.
Yeah, I was thinking like emoji, you know, strong arm emojis or whatever, or like some kind of like strong economy, weak economy. Just mostly because it just wouldn't be accurate. The price and well, two things. Number one, we don't want to talk about the price too much, and we're trying to steer away from the bonding curve so much. So abstracting the chart away. But it's just number and like the vibe of like prices, you know. But then
So I see how if the threshold is too high, it allows large proposals to pass. However, it may drain your funding pool too fast.
yeah. So it's like you get really strong economy versus, you know, not much money in the funding pool. This is kind of a weaker economy, but then you can do a lot of work. And I mean, honestly, there isn't a right answer.
Right.
Each one of these, each one of the inputs can be optimized with the other inputs, you know? So if you say, no, I want like, this is basically a charity commons, it's gonna have a huge funding pool, huge hats tribute, you know, huge exit tribute, then you can kind of optimize the other ones for that. And
right.
what the high score can be.
Huh?
If you say, no, this is a Ponzi scheme, we don't care about funding proposals, we're just going to have an economy here, you know, then you can optimize for that.
Well, I mean, another way to look at that would be we actually don't need a lot of money to do what we're doing. We want to store our value.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just being audacious, of course.
And I'm being a solar optimist.
Yeah, the solar optimist. Ooh. Okay, so should we move this up the proposals selection tool? Or what do you think about moving that before the hatch tribute?
Yeah, I'm down to do that. I just have to tweak the story.
Okay. I'm going to be really brutal about it and just move it. And,
Okay.
And then we fix it. Let's see. Okay, and then max amount of funding pool used for single initiative. So I definitely wanted to talk to you about this.
Okay.
So I have an internal debate between if we want to go with this chart, which is like So this is, sorry, illustration 11.
Okay. I see it.
There's kind of like two ideas here. We could go like, let's keep it simple and not try to like get too many people, intellectually curious about like what's going on with the details of conviction voting. Let's just ask them a simple question. What percent of the funding pool can you use at any one time? You know, and then it's could be like a pie chart or something, and it's just like, oh yeah, you can use the full funding pool, like they have access to the full resource, or oh no, they can only use 5% at a time, so the funding pool is gonna only fund small projects, and that's okay, right? And we define that.
Right.
Or we give them this graph, and the graph will have like, a lot of extra information that they would need to dig to understand. Like voting power, having this curve, and then they move the line of the curve, and they can see that they're moving this, but then they don't really understand some parts of it. And like, what does this curve even mean? Is this like weird threshold formula? And yeah, so I don't know. I'm
gonna say simple in this. Everything in me is saying keep it as simple as possible right now.
Yeah, I think that's what I'm leaning towards too. So I'm just gonna do that then. Okay. So simple pie chart there. Yeah, and I mean, obviously this has no other details behind it. Okay, illustration 12. So this is another question I have for you about how do we want to do the story for like this story. So do you know what we're doing with illustration 12?
So that's the one, this is the illustration that the text above it is related to, where we refined the battery story. So.
Yeah, and we have this nice little simulation that Sem made a long time ago. Well, and Spunnet,
Right.
Right? And
Right.
And basically we want to show this, but better. So it's like, instead of moving alpha here, which will like change the graph, alpha is just kind of like, what the hell is alpha, you know? We'll give them, something that's a little bit better, but it will still move the graph like this. And we need a story, like of people voting. And it's like, okay, so here's an example proposal, This proposal is about funding a meetup group in Buenos Aires or whatever. And, Glenn Weil is really excited about it. And so he votes on the project at time 20. And then actually he sees there's another meetup in Glenn's hometown. And so he decides to take his coins away from the meetup in Buenos Aires and go all in on his hometown. Of course, but that means that when he takes his tokens away, there's a decay in voting power. But then Vitalik comes in, takes his tokens behind Buenos Aires, and then Glenn's hometown's proposal goes through, So he also stakes his tokens. And then, oh my God, we, Buenos Aires meetup group gets funded. Well,
I got it.
and then, and I guess we don't have that. And then Buenos Aires meetups gets funded because they can actually move alpha and say, oh, it doesn't get funded. Or they can move it so that it does.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Because they're changing.
Alpha being the threshold.
Yeah. Alpha is technically this forgetting factor. And I'm sorry, they're not, what they'll be moving is the max voting weight. The time it takes to reach max voting percent, number of weeks it takes to reach max voting. So like, this is the thing, if it takes a lot of weeks, then, this graph will only show from 90, 100 weeks or whatever. And maybe it will, it just won't get to Buenos Aires' threshold in time. Because the graph only goes from, so like the time is held constant on the graph. And the voting power that's fast enough.
Right. So if it takes too long to reach your max, that proposal won't get funded.
Yeah, at least not
It'll disappear off the graph. Right.
Whereas if you have a really short time, hey, maybe it gets funded right away, and when Glenn stakes his, well, we'll probably just make sure that can never happen, but so that we have time for Vitalik to stake and then Glenn to stake. And it doesn't have to be Vitalik or Glenn, it could be, Sam and whoever, right? But now, what I would say is, if you want, you do not have to write this story. But I do want to, I think it's important for conviction voting that that's the way people get to understand conviction, is just by showing them how to do it.
Okay. I agree with that. It needs to be an actual experience.
Yeah, because like these analogies, they're okay, but like at the end, I don't feel like anyone understands this like time dependency.
Gotcha.
Like,
yeah,
I feel like people get quadratic voting when they get to like, donate on Gitcoin. But they don't really fully get it as well as if they were able to donate, or as if they were able to see some donations and then change some factors. And then they'd really see that quadratic voting is still plutocratic. And it's just that the setting is so strong on one direction that it almost looks like it's not plutocratic.
Gotcha.
And
okay, you've convinced me.
Okay, so then, okay.
Consider my mind changed.
Okay.
All right.
And then illustration 13, new members buy tokens to participate. I don't know, did you have any ideas there?
No, I didn't let my brain go that far.
Okay.
Although the funny thing is, in real life, I have something that I have to figure out just like this. So that's kind of interesting.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. I don't want to, I'm trying really hard not to pick your brain and ask you about all this other stuff that I'm doing, even though I desperately want to.
Well, you definitely can if you want to schedule a call sometime. So I'm always down.
Okay.
So much for me. Yeah, well, of course, I'd like to support you on your projects.
Well, I definitely want to make sure that I have it clear before I ask for your time. So that's what actually what I'm meeting on after this meeting.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So yeah, so there's so you've got the initial hatch, you have the pool, the initial hatch happens, you've got your reserve, you've got your funding pool, you've decided how to use the funding pool. There's a period of time where the hatch can't, like, you can't sell those first tokens.
Yeah.
And then there's the moment where new members can buy in.
Yeah. And so we kind of skip all this stuff about the vesting of tokens, and we leave that for leap 2.
Right.
And we skip, like, yeah, we skip the whole augmented bonding curve. We just kind of pretend like that's not a thing. The only thing that we have to make sure people know is that, like, the price goes up and down if people join or don't join. You know, if people buy tokens, the price goes up and down. And we don't have to
Right.
talk bonding curve. I mean, that's just what happens with any kind of stock, right? Or any kind of
Right.
like that. So
So from like a storyline perspective, we've decided how many proposals can be funded.
Mhm.
We've figured out how much can be allocated to it. So now there's a trigger that new members now want to buy in. So maybe that's the launch of that new chapter, right? So
Yeah.
the voting happened, the proposal got funded. The proposal being funded means a new chapter just opened and a whole bunch of people are very excited and want to buy in.
Mm-hmm. Yep, but it always has to be in this hypothetical future, because remember, the setting is that they're all sitting in a meetup
Talking about it.
talking about it, which is fine. I mean, they can definitely be talking about it as a hypothetical. I think that
Right.
I think that is more valuable in a way, right? It's more,
Right.
it's easier to communicate.
Right. So the conversation would be a hypothetical projection into the future where we really want to open a chapter in this city. And because, oh, that would mean we access this new population and they would buy tokens to participate. So we're saying we want more members to join, obviously, because that's the goal, is to spread.
Yeah, I mean, and it could even be more. It could even be generalized and say, like, okay, let's say that let's say that this project is a success, and we start launching radical exchange things all over, and people want to start participating and organizing and diverting funds to projects that they care about. Well, to do that, they have to, they have to buy in, and when they buy in, they're actually raising the price of the token. I mean, I have
Right.
this, slide I can just put in there, but it's not, it definitely shouldn't be.
Oh, I see. I'm getting backwards. So illustration 13, where your cursor is, the text under that actually goes with illustration 14.
Oh, does it?
Right?
I have no idea. I've been looking at the text.
So I
Oh,
need to
yeah.
scroll back.
Choose to pass good proposals that produce valuable outcomes to the community. Yeah. I think the text above explains illustration 13, and then the text
Right.
after that starts explaining illustration 14.
So we just need to thread the story a little more from 12 to 13.
Yeah, I mean, I think here we're basically just trying to explain that people buy in and people exit. And then, oh, hey, when they exit, they pay this tribute. How much should that tribute be?
Right.
And yeah, and then we have to figure out a way to visualize that tribute.
Okay.
And I will just post my slides here, but they're not really that great for this, I don't think.
Mm.
Okay, and then we have the weighting screen
Yep.
and the graphs,
Yep.
and that's it. Well, and then I guess the high scores are probably also something that needs to be designed.
Yeah, I have not used my brain at all for anything at illustration 15 and beyond.
Yeah, yeah.
For some reason, there's a whole blank page there. Oops. Oh,
So then, okay. Oh my God! Wow, I already took an hour of your time. Okay, so what are you gonna be able to dedicate any time for this week?
yeah. So I've got a couple hours of meetings about to start, and I can hear the dogs going off. So that means people are arriving. And then this afternoon, I'm going up to the mountain, and I'll be by myself up there for the next 2 days. So clearing all of the distractions of everything that's happening down here. So tomorrow, Wednesday, I have pretty much the whole day to work on it. But then I won't have time again until Saturday.
Okay. Well, do you want
So
to?
I think I just need to dedicate tomorrow to this, honestly. Like just
Okay.
make the whole day tomorrow getting this done.
Oh
Because
man.
Thursday and Friday, I'm gonna disappear for Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. Good. Well, do you want to dedicate? Do you want to have a call tomorrow about this somewhere?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
Uh, let's
Whatever
see.
works.
When is? So I am good.
I'm gonna be exhausted. I'm gonna go to bed early. Earliest I would probably be ready to at 8 a.m. I can do.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
And 8 a.m. is, what time is that West Coast time?
I'm an hour off of West Coast.
Okay, so
We're
8.
8 hours apart. You and we're 8 hours apart right now.
Okay, perfect. I have West Coast time on my calendar. So I have West Coast and Barcelona time on my calendar. So
I'm in Mountain Time, so
yeah.
1 hour later than
Let's
West Coast.
unfortunately that I have the Give It Weekly Sync is that would be at 8:30 your time. So what I would say is, why don't you sleep in?
Wait, there's a Giveth Weekly Sync tomorrow.
Yeah, we moved our weekly syncs to yeah, I invited Danny at Giveth to it to Wednesday, but it's just
I
that,
think I just thought that was outdated. I
yeah,
did see it there, but I didn't think we were actually doing it.
yeah, this is the real one. Moved to Wednesday because Giveth 2 was on Sunday and it was too much back to back for me.
Okay.
So
All right. Well, I'll jump on there tomorrow. Do you have something right after it?
I do. I'm basically slammed until 1 your time. And in fact, I would say 1:30.
Well, why don't I hack on it for the first half of the day? And then when you have time, we'll jump on and review that together and keep going.
Okay. I will, what I'll do is I will add a thing, a thing to like this on my calendar. So I do it. And then, and then, you know, I just ping you, I guess, and it'll probably be like at 1:30.
Okay, that sounds great. So that gives me the whole morning to hack away on it, get some lunch, and then dive back in.
Cool.
Okay, cool. Well then,
That's time.
Yep. So, well,
Okay.
thank you, Danny. And this was fun to just do the overview.
Yeah.
What were you going to start with, out of curiosity? Stay in the narrative or do the outline?
Well, originally I thought I was just going to be clarifying illustrations, but now I think I need to start rehacking the narrative and adjust the realignment of that new ordering of the proposal selection tool. So I'll start with the narrative there, and I think that'll give me pictures in my brain so I can jump over to the illustrations after that.
Okay, great. I think that sounds like a great plan. And we'll see.
Awesome.
I imagine Ravi might want to talk to you during that sometime on Wednesday as well.
Yeah. Let's see. We'll have to schedule with CAD after that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe try and, well, CAD's on my time zone, so.
Maybe Thursday morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That would be amazing.
Yeah, I'll check the bus schedules. I need to get back down off the mountain Thursday and get to the ferry, but I don't have to do it too early. I think there's a bus around like 11.
Nice. That's nice. Okay, cool. Well, thanks, Danny, for all the time, and enjoy your friends. Have fun in these next calls. Not calls. You're so lucky.
I know, my IRL meetings. Well, actually, I am. There's somebody in England who's going to be on the call too. Or no, Colombia.
Yeah, nice. Well, yeah.
Super fun.
And maybe after we do some narrative work, we can also talk about the things you want to talk about too.
Yeah, that'd be great, because it's the give it stuff, sorting out the projects and the funding strategies for some of these projects and how to set it up for all the different types of contributions that people are making, setting token values and stuff like that.
Ooh, token values.
Yeah, we've got this giant pool of money and sweat equity, right? And we want to start a new project together and figure out, okay, who's contributing what? How do we establish that value? And then how do we do it so that it encourages more people to want to buy into it?
Yeah. Oh, that's exciting.
It is. It's really exciting. Like, people are putting the most epic lands into this graph. You would not believe what. My mind's blown. Like, every time I go to the next property and see what they've built and see the waterfalls and the permaculture gardens and the fruit falling off the trees and beautiful natural structures and domes and stuff, I'm like, are you serious right now?
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
We got Burning Man. We're ready to build Burning Man on the ground.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, for real.
Are you
Fly
guys,
Ranch don't have anything on Costa Rica.
are you guys going to try to have a burner event there?
Yeah, for sure.
Nice.
Not trying. It's already like, okay, we're just figuring out which places can hold how many people and do what.
Oh, and is Jacob coming down there? Is he part of this thing?
Well, right now I don't think they're going to let US citizens in. They're opening the borders on August 1st, but because of what's going on in the US, it's very unlikely that US citizens will be allowed in. So I'm working on figuring out how to set up a work proposal for them, because that's the one way you can get in, is if there's work that requires you to be here. So it's another piece of it I'm trying to figure out, because there's certain people I really need to be here for this.
Yeah, no, that's so true. I'm like a little scared because Lorelai's going to go back to the States, but I don't want to go to the States until I know I can leave.
I know. When she said she was going, I was like, wow, that's a huge decision. I definitely told my family I probably might not see you for a while once I get here.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure if I can get back to the States anytime, but there's no way I'd be able to get back in here.
Yeah, and that's what I'm worried about too. I don't want to go to the States and be stuck there.
No. Mm-mm.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll see. Crazy times.
Okay. Thanks for everybody who's been listening to our conversation live. We're gonna.
Bye.
All right, bye.